Welcome, Patreon backers, to the pre-merge, where this is the extended version of our weekly podcast, where we'll be discussing Caterpillar to a Butterfly. I'm Dave. With me, as always, is my mom.
Hello. I'm surprised you don't have a flag behind you hanging at half-mast there, Dave.
It was really hard to kind of get up for that intro there. This was a rough week. I haven't been this dejected since last season when who was it that went home? When Shan went home, I was kind of sad, but
yeah,
I really had Shan on my list last year. And yeah, this year Omer was just, his stock just kept going up and up and up.
Well, I don't know. Last couple episodes, it started to kind of level off.
Right.
He didn't, I have so many thoughts on Omer.
I've got a lot of notes on a lot of players too. Yeah. So how was your week?
Oh, my week was uneventful. Oh, we had a huge windstorm.
Oh yeah, it was pretty windy here yesterday too. Yep.
Yeah, no power outages. That happens tomorrow on purpose. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They're fixing whatever they're doing, but yeah, I will have no power from 8 o'clock in the morning till maybe 4 in the afternoon. I don't know.
Ouch. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna leave home for the day.
Yeah. Hang out at Jess's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Maybe get some laundry done, watch some shows. Liam's got the day off school, so I think they've got plans, but I hope I'm not included.
Fair enough.
I just get to chill with power, Anyway.
Well, how was it actually watching the episode with them? Because they weren't around for when we recorded this last week.
For a while. So it was good. It was very, very good. I have more on that later.
I cannot wait. Yeah, my week was all right. The weather kind of hasn't been great here, but I don't know. It's just been rainy. This is the first rainy day I've seen in the last year I've been here. Yeah.
It's raining?
Yeah.
Wow.
Generally, it just rains overnight. It's actually constantly raining right now. It's been like that for a little bit.
Are you like homesick now that it's raining?
No, not really. It's more than when it wasn't raining. I forgot what they looked like a rainy day. I legit forgot.
Jeez. Okay.
Really quickly before we get into it, did you watch the hockey game last night?
Do you know, I did not. I was going to. I eventually put it on, realized that Edmonton was ahead.
Oh, Calgary.
Calgary?
Yeah, Calgary was ahead. They scored twice in the first 51 seconds. It was 2-0 within the first minute of the game. And so I shut it off and started watching something else and just kept checking the score. And I saw the score was 6-3, and I was like, okay, well, that game's over. And Drew, I was playing hockey with him, and he's like, well, how much time's left? I'm like, well, halfway to go in the game, but it's 6-3. Little did I know that by the start of the third, it would be 6-6. Oh, it was nuts. Crazy game.
Okay, maybe I did overtime.
No, overtime was Carolina and New York Rangers. They went to overtime. That was like a 1-1 game.
Okay.
But yeah, Calgary and Edmonton, the Battle of Alberta, such a high scoring affair. I bet there was people that, like, if it was in Edmonton, there would have been people that left the arena not able to get back in once the game turned around, right? But it was in Calgary, so no one's leaving that stadium.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No, I'm confused now. I could have sworn Edmonton was ahead, but yeah.
Oh no, they were not in the lead for
all that game. Was Calgary, right?
Yep, 8-6.
8-6.
8-6. Wow. Yeah, Calgary got one more and then an empty netter. So yeah,
that's a lot of goals.
Yeah, not bad for second round of Stanley Cup playoffs. I did not see that coming. Both goalies got pulled. It was crazy.
14.
Huh. Yeah, that's nuts.
Wow. Okay, and they play what, tomorrow night?
Yes, it'd be tomorrow night. Game 2 in Calgary.
Okay, all right. Well,
they're the last two Canadian teams left, so whoever wins, I'm rooting for.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I honestly kind of don't care who wins. I'll cheer for whichever one wins.
Yeah, I don't either, really.
Yeah, I just want the Stanley Cup to cross the border this way. That's all I want.
I do. Yeah. I really do. Yeah.
Remember the last team, the last Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup?
Okay, I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark here.
Yeah, you have a 1 in 8 chance or 1 in 7 chance. Yeah.
I am going to say Edmonton.
Oh, that would have been a good guess. They had a good run in the 90s. It was Montreal, like early 90s.
Was Montreal?
Yeah, 92 or 91, something like that.
Holy cow.
A year or two before the Canucks went to the Stanley Cup final.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow.
I know. I was surprised too. I thought it would have been Edmonton in the 80s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Montreal snuck one in there before the 90s started. Yeah.
Son of a gun. Okay. Little known facts.
Well, enough for the hockey talk, because I'm sure our American viewers might not care. But shall we get into the show?
Sure.
Okay. There we go. Welcome, YouTube, to the Best Damn Survivor related podcast, where we will be discussing Caterpillar to a Butterfly. It is the second to last episode in the season. My name is Dave. With me, as always, is my mom.
Hello.
So, I mean, let's just get into it. What an episode.
What an episode.
I like I was mentioning off screen or earlier that, yeah, it's a little hard to be high energy for this. It's a little,
I don't know. I'm pretty happy about it.
Okay, fine. Let's just get into it then.
Well, let's do it.
Tribe gets back from Tribal, and Lindsay is on cloud 9.
Yes, she is, for a good reason.
She says it was the best Tribal ever. Tribal ever.
Totally.
And her amulet became an idol. She won the do or die.
Yeah.
And she's one step closer to the $1 million. She loves it.
She is. Yeah. You almost think she's a couple of steps closer at that point, the way she's talking and how happy she is, right?
I'm not going to lie. When I saw that talking head to start the episode, I was like, ooh, I mean, with talk like that and editing the way Survivor does, I feel like you have to win immunity in order to stay with that kind of cockiness at the beginning. But okay, we'll see. Right? We'll see how this goes.
Pretty much.
And you were wrong about Omar. He gave it back. He gave the idol back. You were worried he wasn't going to.
You know what? Well, I didn't think he would, but then during the week I thought about it and I thought, in order to keep his image up, he's going to have to give it back.
Right.
If he wants to keep controlling people, he has to, and especially with Mike. I mean, Mike. Right. So yeah. But notice how Mike was like, "Hey, where is it? I want it in my pocket." Like he wasn't taking any chances.
Right now, give it back. Right now.
Yeah, I need it right now. Do you have it on yet? Not go get it. Right.
Completely different than Ricard and Shan from last season, when Shan was like, "Can I have it back?" And Ricard is like, "Do you need it though?" Shan is like, "I kind of want it." Yeah, but can I just hold on to it for you? It's still yours. No.
I know, right? Yeah, no messing around. It was like, give it to me now, now.
What they did a good job of, the next maybe 3 minutes was just every survivor doing a talking head, talking about who's their target moving forward.
Yeah.
Right? And so Jonathan wants Lindsay out, Mike wants Omer out, Lindsay
wants Jonathan.
See, I wrote them all down.
Did you?
Yeah, I wrote them all down as who wants the target. Well, no, actually, some of that comes when they get back from the challenge.
From the challenge, yeah.
What do you think about the conversation Mike had with Marianne?
I think it was a very smart move on his play. I think that he was really listening to what went on at the last tribal council when Drea was, or at one tribal council where Drea was going, when this happens, I watch. When this happens,
I observe.
I observe.
Yeah.
So I think Mike was in observation mode during that whole thing. And like when Drea left, and was like, just so you know, Omer's the only one I told about this. So just going to put that out there. I think Mike was like, oh, he didn't show it on his face, but that sunk in.
Well, it didn't get talked about too much, what Drea said. Like they didn't really highlight that too
No,
much.
no, but I'm sure Mike seemed, like pretty darn intent on Omar needs to go. So I'm thinking he listened,
Well,
right?
they have that little chat in the tent before the next morning where they're like, "Yeah, I can't believe we pulled that move off. Like that was crazy." But Mike, and it shows Jonathan the next morning talking to camera, being like, "Omer just went up like 6 notches in the jury's eyes.
Of course he did.
That's a problem." Yeah.
That's an issue. Yeah.
Assuming this is the kind of jury that will just respect a good game and not be bitter.
Well, I think there could be some bitterness. There could be some sanity, more
I
bitterness than sanity.
I can't wait to
You
hear what Tori's gonna say and
Tori
Roxroy.
Chanel
Those are
and
the two.
wow,
What?
Tori Chanel, Tori Chanel, and Roxroy. I think not so much Roxroy, but especially Tori and Chanel are bitter.
They're bitter. Yeah.
They're bitter. I think they're just going to be horrible jurors. I do. Okay, Roxroy, I think, can pull a little. Maybe he can't. Maybe he's just going to be bitter too.
Oh, here's where I wrote down. Well, the early targets are Marianne says the line, title of the episode. I forgot to do that in the intro. Says that Omer is going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. And in my head,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he's been doing that for like 3 episodes now. That move was the one that made everyone go like, huh, Homer's playing a good game. Really?
Yeah.
He's been doing that for a
Yeah.
while. He's been doing that since the merge.
Oh, he has. He
Yeah.
has. But that one was out and out blatant.
Yeah.
And he had no problem, like when Mike said to him, oh, you got all the credit for that, and Omer's like, oh yeah. He didn't go, well, it really wasn't my plan, which is what he should have done.
But it was his plan. Technically, he could have thrown Lindsay under the bus. Lindsay was the one that suggested it. Lindsay was the one on camera being like, or.
Yeah, I don't know. He came right out. Yeah, he did turn into a butterfly.
So based on everything, Marianne and Lindsay, Jonathan says the line, which was in the trailer for this week's episode, looks like the Taku 4 are gonna break up. And then I paused and I was like, oh yeah, they've been like, who got voted out before they became the Taku 4? Can you even remember who it was?
That would have been okay. Like Jackson went home. Jackson went home first on that team because he medical.
Yeah, the medical issue. Yeah.
What was her name? Maria.
Oh, okay.
Maria.
Sure.
See, I can't even remember.
Mariah.
Oh, maybe Mariah. I can't even remember what she looks like.
Neither can I. That was like episode 2 or 3, and they've just been the Taku 4 ever since.
Yeah.
Right? Because it started with 6. Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we get to the challenge time. And I was actually just about to, as Jonathan was saying, time to break up, I was almost already typing down commercial break. And then it goes to challenge time. I was like, oh, no commercial yet. Okay.
Oh, I know. Okay, wait a minute. Yeah. There was you're right. There was a lot of talk that went on there. Like Mike talks to Marianne, right?
Yeah.
And Marianne goes to Omar to let him know what's going on. Romeo, Lindsay, Omar and Marianne talk about getting Jonathan out. Like there's,
Yeah. And Omar was part of every conversation. Did you notice?
I know. I expected a commercial break there too, and then there wasn't one. Right? It just kept going, and you're right. It went right into the challenge.
One of my favorite challenges of, I'd say, since the merge, because Marianne is Marianne. Have you ever heard that you can spin the opposite direction to try and get undizzy? Have you ever heard of that? I've never heard of that.
No, I've never tried it. I don't think it would work, but she did make Jeff laugh.
Yes, well, she almost ran into a cameraman.
And I appreciated that, right? I did. I thought, this is too funny. She's,
So essentially, they had a metal spool around their waist, and they had to walk down a run or whatever down a track while they're unspooling themselves and turning as they go. Then there was like a mesh bridge. Then it was a balancing beam where they had
Yeah.
to untie knots on it.
Yeah.
And what that does is unlocked the key to puzzle pieces so you could start on your puzzle,
Yes.
right? Because this was the blocked
Yes.
puzzle one where it's the
Yes.
compass rose.
Yes. Yep.
There was a reward. Well, two rewards. You
Two.
could
You
either
had a
have
choice.
cake and cookies or meat and veggies.
Yeah.
Fried chicken and veggies, I think is what Jeff said.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, so I liked Marianne not being able to like run in a straight line while spinning, and she even like fell over on the balancing beam. Jonathan was having a hard time trying to not be dizzy. Also, I liked when he just sort of pointed like, "Okay, body go forward," and his body just went forward.
He was looking at the netting they had to run across. He's like, "Which one's mine? Which one's mine?" Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll pick that way. Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of high hopes at that point on him because I thought, oh man, you don't even know which net's yours. Okay, go. I got to see this. But he did good on the balance.
Oh, well, did you see how Romeo was trying to go on the balance beam? He's trying to crawl along the balance beam. He just low center of gravity. Maybe that'll work.
Yeah, so did Marianne eventually, right? Like, don't stand up, you'll fall down. I get
it. And then once they all get, like, they eventually get to the top of this ladder to do this block puzzle where it's that one where it's 4 poles and you put the pieces through the poles and it makes a compass rose.
Yes.
Which is very hard to do because of all the opposite colors. That would be difficult. I don't know if I could do it that fast.
I know.
What did you think of Jeff just not talking for a good 30 seconds there?
Oh, I loved that. Just listen to the sound. And you hear the blocks.
You just hear blocks. Yeah.
Shuffling, right? And I thought that was pretty awesome.
I read online that's the longest Jeff has gone on a challenge without talking since season 4. Well, they haven't had that much just airspace with him not saying a word.
I think it was good. It worked. I liked it.
Yeah.
I was
sometimes I don't need to hear dig deep or that's how we do it on Survivor.
I know, right? I was very surprised at Omer winning. I thought, have you been slacking off this whole time and you really are a comp beast? What's going on?
Well, that's not necessarily like an uncommon puzzle on Survivor. They've done the compass rose a bunch.
So you saying he practiced?
Well, I bet you he's seen every season more than once, so I bet you he probably knows what that looks like. I don't know. Right. Maybe his favorite season is like Cook Islands or
it could be,
you know, because they did those in a lot of the nautical themed seasons.
But I thought that was interesting when he wins, he gets over by Jeff, and Jeff is like, okay, here's where the twist comes in. And I'm like, oh, what now? Right? Like, are you kidding me? The guy finally won a challenge. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then Jeff comes out with, okay, if you choose the chicken and veggies, you get to take 2 people with you. If you want the chocolate, you get to take 3 people. So Omer is like, oh, I want to share this with more people. And I'm thinking, oh no, that's not why you're doing it. But let's keep going here.
He said the right thing this time. Yeah, instead of earlier. Yeah.
Right? Okay, anyway, so who does he pick?
Well, first he picks Romeo because Romeo is just going to get blown away by a decent wind.
Well, he is. That's true.
Then he says Marianne's been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what reason he gives for Mike, but he picks Mike.
No.
Yeah.
He picked
Marianne, Romeo, and Mike.
Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, 3. He got 3. Yeah, he picked Mike last.
Now, that's very clever. That's the smartest decision he could have made at that exact moment. Totally. Because he knows Lindsay and Jonathan hate each other. He knows they're not going to talk to each other. They're just going to sit back at camp and lie to each other, which is kind of what happens. But
what else does he know? They are the two compies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's like maybe
Let's
they
start
don't
there.
need some sugar. Yeah.
Maybe they don't need anything, right? Eat
He
all
only
the
says
rice.
that about Jonathan. I don't think he's giving Lindsay enough credit, but technically he
No.
did that to the two biggest challenge beasts in the season
Well,
so
of course
far.
he
Yeah.
did. And the way he did it was smart.
Hmm.
A
But
definite Homer move.
back at camp, Jonathan and Lindsay are like, "Were you buying what his reasoning was?" And
Huh.
Lindsay just lies right back, like, "I don't know. I heard it was Mike." And Jonathan's like, "Oh yeah, Mike. I heard that too. Yeah, yeah." And they're just,
And they're both just, and they're
yeah,
both, it was actually kind of funny. And Jonathan finally like, yeah, well, I'm gonna go lay down for a while,
yeah. And he's like,
right?
I sure hope I'm doing a better job than her because I can see what she's doing a mile away." And I'm like, "You're not doing that good a job either, Jonathan. She knows."
Well, I was surprised he figured that out. I really was. Sometimes he doesn't get it. Sometimes he doesn't see it. But anyway,
That's a good point.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I was yeah. So that was interesting. And then everybody else gets back.
That would, like, four people eating a giant cake. You could, how long would it take you to do that? Because they didn't show them eating the, like, I want to see an empty plate there with them talking instead of
Oh,
like a half-eaten cake.
yeah, I doubt they finished the whole cake.
They didn't look as hungry as they should have been, I thought, but anyway.
Well, chocolate though, I mean, how much cake can you eat? Like, oh my God, without super upsetting your stomach
That's a
after
good
no
point.
food for how long, right? I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, well, then I was just gonna go, yeah, back at camp when all four show up. Um, this is funny. Mike spills the beans about Lindsay's idol. He just immediately
Yeah,
goes to Jonathan and goes, "She's got an idol, dude."
Jonathan's like, no.
Yeah.
And he tells Marianne.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
and
just decides to
Marianne.
blow up their game and goes, "If I tell them the secret, I can get them on board." And it kind of
Yeah.
works with Marianne because she feels slighted by Lindsay. Like,
Well,
we've
and
been
she
together
should.
for so long and I had no idea.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And Lindsay says, because Mike now is concerned, right? Is it
Mhm.
me? Is it me? Am I going home? And I like, Lindsay, not as much tact as was probably needed, says, well, if Jonathan doesn't win immunity, you're safe. And I'm like, okay, Mike, little red flag should be popping all over the place for you now. And then she
Yeah.
tells Mike, everyone sees him as a threat, but not her and Homer. Oh, come on. Who's going to believe that?
Yeah.
Who's everyone? I mean, there's six of you. Come on. Right?
She's telling a bad lie, not a good lie on that one, hands down.
Oh, it was sad to watch. It was sad to watch.
So
Yeah, Marianne does her whole thing, about I'm not a goat to be, led around, and yeah,
fair enough. Let's see
fair
if she
enough.
can put up or shut up on that front. So then we
You know,
get to a commercial break.
once at
Okay.
that point, uh, the way I saw it was Mike was going to vote. Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
later.
I had
Never
there
mind.
was two separate brainstorming periods where everyone scattered and talked about their targets, and I really had to keep my notes organized so I didn't talk about what happens after the next challenge.
I know because well, no, before that. Oh, maybe it was after. Okay. Anyway, you go to the next challenge.
Oh, well, I was going to talk about a commercial break. Wondered if you had anything in store for us. Or we're going to wait.
I do, but it's a little bit too early to get into it.
Oh, okay. We'll save it.
I think it's better suited for the next break.
Okay. So, do you want to explain the challenge once we get back from?
Oh, the
Did you
immunity challenge.
did you write that down? Because I wrote notes on that, so I could do it if you didn't.
The immunity challenge. It's one I love.
Yeah, they had to jump some hurdles.
Oh, right. Okay.
Collect some staircase pieces.
Yeah, I like that. They jump the hurdles, run up. You got to untie a bunch of knots, collect 4 pieces. Now that's the part. See, 4 pieces, okay. And then you make a stairway. You run up the stairway. and then you do a puzzle? No. What
Yeah.
do you do?
No, it was the ball thing. It was the 2 balls on the slanty
Oh, right,
table
right,
thing.
right. Yeah.
Before the ladder with the metal poles in it.
Now, why why didn't anybody untie all the knots first and then start grabbing pieces?
That's a good question. When Jeff explained the rules, I don't know. He didn't mention that, or maybe he did say only 4 at a time.
I
Because
don't
there
know.
is times he explains rules specifically because challenges have been hacked in the past, and he started
Right,
giving very specific rules these days.
right.
Sometimes he misses a line or forgets to say something, and it can come back to haunt him. But
Yeah, right. I just wondered that. But anyway, they go full bore.
yeah, yeah, 4 pieces at a time. It takes you like I think it took most of them 3 or 4 trips.
Yeah,
Each of
yeah,
the 4 planks had a different set, a different combination of holes that would only fit on a certain part of the staircase. So it's like a little puzzle before you get to, the
yeah,
other half of the challenge.
yeah.
So once you build your staircase, there's a pole, almost like a ladder, and it's got metal bars you can push all the way to one side or all the way to the other. And you have to get a key on a metal ring, shimmy it all the way up the ladder, go up the ladder, and then you get to do those ones. You got 2 handles on like what was that? There was an old board game like that used to be like that where it had spinners on the side, Labyrinth or something. Anyway,
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
so it's like a little 2-ball, version of that. And sure enough, Lindsay and Jonathan are neck and
Went
neck.
down neck and neck.
Yeah,
I I didn't think Jonathan would do that well on that.
I was kind of surprised too. Yeah,
Yeah,
but he was
yeah.
also like he wasn't up there super quick. He had a hard time with the staircase puzzle. So when that happened, I was like, oh, maybe like Mike's gonna do it or Omer again or something like that.
Or yeah, I
Man, that would have
know.
been good.
But
So
anyway,
yeah, Lindsay
Lindsay
wins.
pulls it off,
Yeah,
right? And she gets her necklace and she's all right? I mean,
absolute worst case scenario for Jonathan.
you thought she was happy in the opening scene. Now she's really happy, right?
Oh yeah, stoked.
Yeah, and now Jonathan's like, ah, right?
So
He's not
yeah, back at camp. This is where the strategizing really kicks into like gear 5. Because
oh man,
Mike and Jonathan now realize they can't get Lindsay out and they don't think they can get Omer out.
okay, now this is where Mike goes, oh no, she's got the necklace, she's gonna play her idol for Omer. We gotta go to plan B.
Safe vote.
Yeah. And I mean I get it because he's trying to save his butt, but I wasn't pleased about it. I really wasn't, you know.
I mean, I've never seen a Survivor safe vote. Like, really, whenever someone says, we'll just go to plan B, we'll do it safe, they wouldn't edit that into the show if that's just what happens. They're not going to purposely make the show boring.
It was a good plan, though. I mean, seriously, it was a good plan. So he decides that Jonathan and him and Marianne and her extra vote that everybody knows about now, pretty much, should all vote Romeo, and Romeo would go home in a 4-2 vote or 4-3.
Meanwhile,
Right?
you have Omer and Lindsay saying Jonathan didn't win. What are we all talking about here? Jonathan doesn't have a necklace. What's going on?
Yeah, but they were just using that. They figured they had a given. They figured they already had everybody under control. They had no idea about the Romeo thing. Okay,
Yeah.
they just kind of ran around, double checked that everybody was going to vote Jonathan, and everything was cool. And of course,
No
everybody
one
went,
no one
yeah,
told Omer or Lindsay about the Romeo plan. No one brought it up to them, did
no,
they? At least they didn't show it.
no,
Okay.
no, no. Or they would have tried to kill it, yeah, or they would have used the idol.
Right.
They would have
But
thought, okay, there's something wrong with this.
But here's the fun part. Marianne is trying to explain it to Jonathan and Mike about, okay, if we do it exactly like I'm explaining it, we will get Omer out. I
Yeah,
promise you.
yes.
And they're like, yeah, but why not get Romeo and just get Homer out tomorrow? And she was beating her head against the wall for I don't know how long. She probably sat there, how much they edited out of that conversation.
I know, but she did a lot of work. Okay. She really did.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
a lot of credit.
Anyway, it was crazy the way it all came about, right? She goes to Romeo first, and Romeo, of course, is going to do anything that he thinks is going to save his butt.
Yep.
And she started out with, hey, they're going to try and get you out for a safe vote. So I have an extra vote. So if you and me vote together, that's 3 votes against Homer,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're safe. And Romeo's like, oh, yeah, that's a good deal. That's a really good deal, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, then she, of course, goes to has her little conversation with Mike and Jonathan, like you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, anyway, it was really interesting to watch everybody kind of scramble and the way they talked.
Well, what was your opinion on the conversation between what Lindsay and Homer about Lindsay suggesting you don't play the idol because we don't want one put back into play?
Okay, well, okay. Now, the idol she had last night, okay,
Mm.
was only good up until last night because it was formed from the amulet. It had limitations. It didn't go to the end of the game. Now, on Survivor, the only time you can't use an idol is when there's 4 people left. But now there's 5 next week. And now all of a sudden Lindsay is going to be idoless, okay? Anyway, she doesn't want to use it because she doesn't want another idol going back into play. If she used it, she figured, okay, there's going to be another one hidden. And they felt safe. They felt so secure. Survivor safe?
Now,
Survivor what?
now here's the
Confident.
question. Lindsay was so sure that her and Homer were going to go to Final Four. She's like, me and Homer have a clear
Yes.
path if this works out.
Yep.
If Lindsay really wanted to make sure Homer would be there, why
Play the
wouldn't she
idol.
say play it? Like,
Play.
I just don't understand how another idol being put in play is scarier than leaving your potential like alliance member just in the
I,
open like that. I
I know.
just I just don't see how. Like, I think that was a bad move on Lindsay's part, unless
Oh, it
she
was,
secretly wanted to get out Homer.
which I
And
doubt because she looked horrified. But anyway, they were both so confident that they could handle everyone else in camp. They didn't think they needed to. And I
fair
was
enough.
like, okay, that's not what I would do. No,
Got anything to? Hmm?
I'd save my buddy.
Yeah, makes sense. If it's
Got me this far, I can win challenges. I can take you out later. You're coming with me.
maybe she wants to go home and have a souvenir.
Who knows, right?
So,
Do they
anything
let
to
you?
add before we go to tribal here?
Well, I think there was a commercial there, wasn't there?
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Pretty sure there was a
Yep.
commercial there.
Sorry.
Yeah. So my buddies show up, my daughter and my grandson, to watch Survivor. And of course, it's the usual thing. I get a text going, what do you want for dinner? Because Jess grabs food wherever. And I was like, Subway'd be good. Let's have Subway. So and then she goes, well, what do you want? Give me your order. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
do you think I could bring up a Subway menu on my computer? No. So finally, I just like, you know what? Just whatever. Surprise me. It's all good. Anyway, they show up, they walk in, they sit down. Now, we always sit in the same order. Okay, there's me on one end of the couch, Liam on the inside closest end, and then Jess in the chair behind me.
Gotcha.
Okay. So anyway, we all sit and Jess is like, okay, turn it on. I've explained to Liam what's happened. I was like, okay, all right, all right. So anyway, we're all eating, we're watching. We finally get to this particular commercial. Now, keep in mind, Liam didn't bring his phone. He's actually watching. Okay.
Okay.
You think, I mean, you never really know because he's half time lying down or crawling on the floor, or, and
Right.
he's tired.
Sure.
Anyway, all of a sudden, Jess goes, well, why does Marianne think she needs, or why, how did she put it? Why won't Mike and Jonathan listen to Marianne about the vote and just vote Omer?
Okay.
Or something along those lines,
Sure.
right?
Why won't they just listen to her?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. And then Liam and I start explaining to Jess why Marianne does not need any more votes other than her and Romeo. And Jess is like, well, no, because they're all Jonathan's going home. I mean, because this is going to happen, that's going to happen. And we're just sitting there, and Liam and I are looking at each other. And all of a sudden, Liam goes, Mom, there's 6 people left. Okay. Okay. So-and-so's voting for so-and-so. So-and-so's voting for so-and-so. And Marianne and Romeo have 3 votes. Boom, gone. Omer's gone. Can we watch the show now? And I'm like, yeah, what he said.
That's awesome. I cannot wait to eventually, well, it'll be a while, get him on the podcast. He sounds like he knows what's up.
He's got it. Well, he got it figured out, and then he kind of looks at his mom because she's, obviously wanting Homer to win the game, and then he kind of looks at his mom a little concerned because he realizes what he said, and then he kind of looks at me, and I'm like, it'll be okay, bud. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
it'll be okay. It might not happen. It'll be okay.
So
anyway,
what did you think of the tribal? Because I really liked it. Any tribal where they're just getting dumped on with rain, love it.
Well, this is true, right? I never ever write anything about tribal down. I just watch it intently. The only thing I wrote down is that all the answers that Jeff, question after question. Jeff can't seem to get anybody riled this season at tribal. He can't get them all standing up and walking around. He can't get them all bent out of shape. They all just sit there and go, well, Jeff, I think I like the rain kind of attitude, and they all come up with these nonchalant, and they all look so safe. They just,
Yeah.
Jeff even says, I don't know to who, something about, well, I think it was Lindsay, or she had immunity, but even, she was like, well, I mean, something about, do you think everything is going to go as planned tonight? And she's like, well, if I trust what people said that I talked to, if they trust what I said, then yeah, things are going to go well. And she's smiling, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay.
What do you think about, because one of the questions Jeff asks, where he asks like Romeo and then Lindsay if they see a shift in the way the game is being played, like people aren't looking at who to vote out, they're looking at who you need to sit beside,
who to keep.
Yeah, and then Homer makes a really good point, and he's like, actually, I disagree, Jeff. I think everyone's been doing that from like the merge or day one. Like, if like, he's kind of saying, if you don't think that way on day one, it's hard to get to day 26.
Yeah, right. And he also was saying that's what I've been doing since day one.
Yeah, well, it's just true. Yeah. You got to be playing a long-term game at day one. It makes sense.
He's not lying.
And he also brings up the fact of, like maybe someone's being lied to. Maybe, if I'm being lied to, maybe I'm going to get blindsided. And right now I feel survivor confident, but, who knows what can happen, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So after that, it's pretty much time to vote. And sorry about my energy level might drastically go down here. It was very good the way they spaced out the votes, because it was like 1 vote Jonathan, 1 vote Romeo, 1 vote Homer. And that's when Homer starts doing this like my name's not supposed to be up there, guys. Why is my name up there? And just doing that. I love those facial expressions.
I know.
And yeah, it ends up being 2 votes Jonathan, 2 votes Romeo, and 2 votes Omar. 1 vote left. And of course, it's the one that's split into 4 pieces, so you know it's someone's extra vote because we saw Drea use one last week. And Omer, right as Jeff goes 1 vote left, Omer like touches me around his shoulder and goes, "You did it, didn't you? You got me." She's like,
You
"I
did it.
I did, yeah." And he's like, "You got me." But man,
I don't think he was happy.
Just took his eye off the ball for one day. Not even
Well,
one day, an afternoon.
at that point, your sister said, "That's it. I'm never watching this show again. That's it. I hate all these people. I don't want anybody to win. Come on, Liam, we got to go home." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yay!"
Well, here's something interesting. Because I follow a lot of some of my favorite past survivors on Twitter.
Oh,
Rick Devens from season 38.
yeah, could be.
I can't remember, maybe 37.
What's he
He
doing
posted
now?
on Twitter and he was he still does newscasting.
Okay. Anyway, what did he post?
He said it's kind of a bummer that what Drea said after she got voted out last week seems to have affected who got voted out this week. Because there's
Right.
a lot of Survivor purists out there that don't think Drea should have been able to say all that stuff before she left. She should have just
People,
not said anything and let her torch get snuffed. You're not allowed to wink at the jury. You can't. Some people are like, she shouldn't have been able to get away with saying that much stuff. But
um, I don't believe she was talking to the jury.
no, but she told no, she didn't talk to the jury, but she's no one has ever got like that many votes, or you've been, the tribe has spoken,
Right.
and they got to say that many words before their torch gets snuffed. So there's a lot of
Really?
Survivor fans, yeah, like some people have been like under their breath, like, "You're a snake," or "Can I have your jacket?" No, like there's been some stuff said, but there's never been a Survivor like address every remaining player in the game and like out secrets that much.
Well,
So
she's Canadian, and we don't keep our mouth shut when we're
I'm just saying,
down.
there's some people that agree with that sentiment. Some people don't. I personally didn't mind it too much. It was one of the nicer eliminations, and yeah, it might have affected this week, but
You know what?
I don't think it's the end of the world.
I think it's part of the game, and I think that no matter what strategy you use, it can come and bite you
Mm.
in so many different ways. You know, Omar. Yeah, I'm sure Drea's comment did him in, right?
Hmm.
But because it made everyone aware of how dangerous he really was. Okay. My thoughts on his game, I think it was going really well. I just think he needed, once you get down to like about 8, you got to pick a side and stick with it. You can't be trying to manipulate all 8 people because they're all talking to each other now.
That's a good point.
And that's when it gets, and you can't have your ears everywhere all the time. And I think he just played it. He needed to change strategies at about 8.
Well, with that being said, I guess I need a new top 3 now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, talking about that. Oh, me and my paper.
Your paperwork, it's all good.
Hang on, hang on. So, for anybody that doesn't know, we have a Patreon page, right?
Yep.
And
Patreon / Survivor Buffs. Jesus.
yeah, there you
Forgot.
go. Okay. Anyway, we do a little thing called Predictinator. I'm not going to give anything away here, Dave.
Yep.
I'm just saying that Dave and I have a little contest where we pick things like who's going to get voted out, who's going to win immunity, and what kind of bold, weird thing is going to happen. Now, I came up with a plan today because next week is finale.
Okay.
So some of those don't really fit.
That's true.
So when you're talking about, and this is something I need you to think about other than your top three, because we're getting so close. For the final Predictinator, I think we should take a stab at who's going to win immunity, and then who is going to be safe. And by that, I mean, I'm talking when we get down to 4 people.
Well, technically, what you could predict would be 2 immunity winners, the order of the boot elimination, and final 3, other than the winner.
Kind of like that. Okay, yeah. So immunity, safe. Who's going to be the 2 people making fire?
That's right. Yeah. No, they do that.
Yeah, and who's going to win?
Okay.
So anyway,
yeah, because the winner of the last challenge picks one person to go with them and makes the other 2 do a fire making challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. When there's 4.
When there's 4.
There's going to be 5. To start with, there's still 5, right?
Right.
Okay, so your top 3 right now are?
My top 3 for just winners? Oh, man. I can't bring myself to say Marianne, even though her chances really did go up this week. I'm going to stick with Lindsay. What were my last top 3? I feel like I'm going to pick a whole new top 3 in a completely different order now. It was like Omer, Mike, Jonathan, or something like that.
Omer, Marianne, Lindsay, Jonathan was your dark horse.
Okay, so Lindsay's going up to number 1. Marianne's number 2, and my Mike is my number 3. Jonathan's still my dark horse. Because let's face it, Romeo's not winning. So as long
Jonathan, as okay, so Lindsay, Marianne, Mike.
Yes, and then Jonathan at number 4. That's the order of, like, I think Lindsay's gonna win, and if Lindsay doesn't, then I think Marianne's gonna win. And if Marianne and Lindsay don't win, then I guess it's Mike. But fingers crossed, Jonathan. But I think it's going to be Marianne or Lindsay. It's going to be a girl season.
Okay, so I had last week Lindsay, Marianne, Mike, and Omer as my dark horse. I was hoping he'd come back. I was hoping he'd hang in there. Okay, I now think that I'm going to put Marianne at the top.
Fair.
Okay, I'm going to put Mike second.
Right, Lindsay doesn't have any protection. That's a good point.
I'm going to put Romeo third because I'm sure somebody's going to drag him along.
Wow, okay.
And Lindsay is now my dark horse.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna be a crazy one next week. I tried to look up the title of next week's episode. Can't find it. It's just called Survivor Finale.
Yeah.
So there's no fancy name for next week's one yet.
Are you sure?
Well, the source I normally go to find it, I couldn't.
Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, you're gonna check on the DVR?
Yeah.
Because I tried doing that, but I tried doing it like 2 days ago. And so I think that was too far ahead for my DVR to do it. But maybe now, the day after it aired, you can probably do it.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, if I knew how to work my remote, it would help.
Okay.
The old ancient remote, remember?
Right. So, yes, as my mom was saying, we've got a Patreon page. Yeah, Predictinator is an episode we do every week. I guess next week could be the last one until we pick a new season. But yeah, it's going to be good.
No, says finale. No,
yeah, I know.
Nothing.
They should have saved the battle royale from last week for or last week or the week before, battle royale. That'd be a good title for a finale.
Did you watch? Oh, never mind. Later.
Okay.
Later.
Well, that's all for this week for everyone on YouTube. We'll be back next week with the probably a little bit longer episode, the Survivor finale.
All right. I'm looking forward to that.
Cannot wait.
All right.
Okay. Welcome, Patreon backers, to the post show. We just got done reviewing Caterpillar to a Butterfly. So you want to talk about the next week on Survivor thing? Because I did watch it. I got suckered in. Yeah, I did.
Okay, now here's what I'm trying to figure out. Who was that? Lindsay running around trying to find an idol?
Sure looked like it. Yeah.
Okay, so does that mean why does she think there's an idol out there? Because
we'll see. That's what I was going to bring up. I wrote in my notes, save this for the after show. Has there been an idol played that wasn't an amulet? Has there been? Like,
yes.
Has there been one hiding in the bushes and submerge and no one's looked yet?
Okay, now here's need my tinfoil hat.
Gotcha.
Okay. Do you remember when Marianne and Drea both played idols?
Yeah.
2 got played. Okay. Marianne's was the
it wasn't an amulet.
No, it was
the 3 phrase.
Okay, right. But a pure idol. Okay. Drea's was an idol because she still had her amulet. She found another idol. At that point, she still had her amulet. Everybody was still in the game.
Where did she get the idol from?
She found it. Remember, she was finding everything. She got the amulet the first day.
So
she got. Anyway, okay.
2 days, Drea's idol's been out there and no one's looked.
Well, okay.
Maybe
now. Okay, that's one theory. Because 2 got played, but Marianne found one after that. There hasn't been one found since then. So to me, there could be one still out there, right? Because of that. Or now, Lindsay didn't play her idol, but her idol has no power. So does that force another idol back into the game?
That's an option. Or Lindsay could just be desperate.
Well,
just like maybe she's like, there must be something out here and I'm going to waste my time looking because why not? I'm already gone. I don't know. It looked like she was looking for an idol, though.
But to me, there could be one out there. I think there could be one out there. I think there should have been 2, after those 2 idols originally got played by Marianne and Drea. I think there should be 2.
Well, like we said in our preview show before the season started, I don't like how many advantages there is. So it's a hard thing to try and keep track of.
Well, it is for me. I mean, Drea had so much.
Imagine going without sleep or food or,
Oh, where did I put that one?
Yeah, like no, but like you're like, wait, who has like even when I see them sometimes trying to count out the votes on their hand, it looks like they have trouble. Like there was the season, who was it last season? Somebody started drawing on the ground, like, okay, this person votes for this person, draws a line and has to like get out a blackboard. What?
Didn't Christian do that? No.
No, well the girl can't remember. No. It was David versus Goliath. It was Gabby did it with him in the sand.
Right.
But someone last season did it, and I can't remember if it was like Erica or Ricard or something.
Or used rocks to
Yeah. Like that's how hard it is to just figure out like splitting the vote. So who has idols and which ones are like worth what? It's got to be difficult. I don't even know what my bold prediction for next week is going to be.
Oh, I don't know. Are we going to do one? I mean,
no, I'm not going to go over it now. I'm not going to go into spoiler. I mean, people that can watch this can probably already watch Predictinator. It's probably already.
Are we gonna even do a bold prediction? Because I mean, how would that work? I think we got enough with 2 immunities.
I'm still gonna make a bold one, but it's gonna be a bold because there's nowhere else to go but crazy at this point. Like,
all right.
someone goes home because everyone plays an advantage or an idol at one tribal or something like that.
All right.
Like, there's a tie at the first tribal council of the first hour of or first 20 minutes of the episode or something.
Right. So Shot in the Dark doesn't exist. Last
Not
night
anymore.
I really thought somebody was going to win that.
I'm surprised. Like, they gave
it a lot of airtime.
They could have edited it out for this season, couldn't they?
What do you mean?
Could they have just pretended like the Shot in the Dark didn't happen this season? Because it didn't work for anyone. It didn't really play into any storylines of who went home or why. So you could have just edited it out.
Tells me that it's coming back. That's what I think.
I don't necessarily hate the Shot in the Dark. It's one of the better newer ones. But if I have to watch another two people go on a hike and then risk their vote or not risk their vote, and the do or die thing's dumb. I don't like that.
It's exciting though. I mean, come on. Gets the old adrenaline going.
Is there any challenge? Is there any like new? Like, I know we asked this, like I said in that preview episode, but now that you've watched all these advantages for a second season, do you want to see the three-phrase idol come back? Do you like the losing your vote in order to get an extra vote, or the Shot in the Dark, or the do or die?
I like it all.
Really?
I like it all. I like watching them all run around and getting confused. And
because I like the three-phrase idol. Don't get me wrong. I just wish their phrases would better.
Yeah, but that's
I didn't like the amulets. I didn't like the amulets.
See, I don't get why nobody on the tribe say, how come you said that weird thing at tribal? You know, I mean, it I guess it was supposed to make it harder for you to hide the fact that you had the idol.
Yes.
Right? But, I mean, most people are just going, hey, look what I found.
Well, it seemed like once it got down to the nitty gritty, there was some people that were able to keep stuff a secret, right? Like Lindsay's idol that she didn't give to Omer. Again, no one knew about it besides, until Mike blabbed, but no one knew about it besides her and Omer until she told Mike. She kept that on lockdown. Well, except for, what was it? Drea and High had the other one, because they had to cover themselves in like blood and dirt to make it look like they really, really worked hard for something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
That was ridiculous. I did kind of like that twist, though. The fact that you have to kind of fake it will give you some tools, but High just dumps a bunch of blood on himself, makes it look like he like fell down a cliffside.
You know, he looked like such a fool back then that he was not a bad player.
He was not a bad player. Yeah.
Who would you What? Who would you like to see from this episode come back in future seasons?
From this episode, like anyone that's on the jury or in the game, or from the season?
From the season. Who would you like to see as a returning player?
I don't think Jonathan would ever come back. I'd like to see Jonathan do it again. I'd like to see Omer try again.
I'd like to see Omer.
I'd like to see Shan come back. I'd like to see, but that's a different season. There's a couple people I don't want to see back. I don't care too much about Marianne.
Any word on 43?
I've heard some rumors, but they haven't been substantiated. Apparently, the days are going to be the same. They're not going back to 39.
Oh, really?
So a lot of speculation is it's just kind of going to be this now.
Well, I don't mind it. It makes it go faster.
It's a good point.
Like the whole game, you got to play harder. You gotta get your.
I feel like with a longer season, you can get more shots of them at camp and stuff, and not. It did feel fast paced. Like there's a challenge within the first 5 minutes of an episode, and Tribal Council is like 20 minutes, so you're only getting like before the merge when there's 3 tribes. Sometimes there's episodes where it's like, oh, Taku won. We just don't need to show them for the rest of the episode. Done.
Um, I'm looking forward to 43, and who knows what they're going to keep and what they're not going to keep. But players are now will have seen 41 and 42,
That's true. That's true.
so it's going to change stuff up again, right? You're going to have smarter, quicker people out there going, "Oh my lord!"
I wonder if you're going to get survivors starting to fight over the hike, because the last 2 seasons they've been like, rock paper
I do
scissoring.
though.
They've been drawing straws to see who goes.
Well, they
People are
can't
like,
force them to
yeah, I
fight.
guess I'll go. And now it'll be like, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? And everyone will know what you're up against. So it's curious what they do. I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know
hard to say.
what twist you can put on that.
It's hard to say, and everybody's going to want the gray rock to go get the hourglass.
Is the next person on a sit-out bench gonna look a little bit harder this time? 2 straight
Obviously.
seasons that doesn't get found. 2 straight seasons.
Oh no, it got found. Drea.
Oh, Drea found it. That's right. I was still mad about Xander. Still mad about Xander.
There you go, Xander. And there has been other people that have not found that. That wasn't a new thing.
But at least there was no beware advantages just left by the fire this season.
Wow, that was
on the ground by someone's feet, like it fell out of a cameraman's pocket. None of that. Yeah. So I'll take it.
Yeah.
I will say this though. The last 2 seasons, and I do hope like one thing they keep with the new season is I really do like the diverse cast. I really think they found a good balance with kind of it sounds kind of like insensitive to be like, oh, they've got every demographic, but it seems well balanced. It's not like it's.
So I can't wait for the reunion show.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what was going on with Drea's big. I can't vote another black person out.
Yeah,
I can't because nothing has ever been said. She did take Chanel out. Like, I don't know what was up with that. I think she was, here's my again tinfoil hat on. I think she was covering up the fact that her whole alliance betrayed her by not voting Romeo out. She wanted Romeo gone, and all of a sudden they took Roxroy.
I kind of want to chalk it up to it's okay. I kind of want to chalk it up to just it was like more than halfway through the game. She just sort of, something triggered her, I guess, that she just kind of freaked out there. Oh. Well, I can talk like this before my mom gets back. Not a big deal. Can kill some time before she gets back. Oh, that was quick. There we go.
Okay. I haven't figured out how to get back in. I just don't know why I keep leaving.
Fair enough. Okay. We'll have it all figured out for next week, folks.
We will, hopefully. Okay.
Anything more you'd like to add before we jet?
Not for today. I think everybody just needs to, do whatever they got to do, cry over Omar or have a party, one or the other.
Fair enough. Now I was going to ask you really quickly for next week's episode, because it's a 2-hour. Are we going to have 2 commercial break moments from you, or is that going to be too much?
Oh, well, now see, again, because it's all in all 3 hours with the finale,
right.
I'll be watching it alone.
Oh, they can't come over for 3 hours.
Night. Yeah, so we won't be watching together until probably the weekend.
Ah, okay. Well, we'll have to put that on an episode later.
Well, we could do. I think what we should do is next episode should be the 2 hours, and then one final episode covering the reunion, because I'd really like to do that.
For sure. Just keep in mind the reunion's just going to have the jury and the winners on it, right? The pre-merge people aren't going to be there because they're not doing it in a studio. They're doing it at Final Trouble like last season.
Oh, are they?
I'm assuming it's the same.
I don't know. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, last season 41 was 3 hours. And they just did Final Tribal right after a winner was announced.
Right.
The person knew they won before they even got home.
Right. Okay, well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it should be a good. So I'm just saying that the earlier people like Mariah is not going to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Okay.
Okay. Bye, fellow Patreon backers. Unless there was something you want to say, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. We'll be back next week for a jam-packed episode. The finale should be a good one.
Yes, absolutely. Bye.